Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded NBA ranking show. Very special show, by the way. This is our actually NBA playoff edition. So I'm kind of excited about talking some NBA playoffs. Kind of cover the local team as obviously because we want to talk about the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee, Milwaukee Bucks. So we're kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
And seeing how everything's kind of working out and what we think. So let's start right off with the Celtics Bucks series, and obviously Milwaukee's up right now 2-1. Boston losing Game 3 in Milwaukee, and a performance that could be questioned by some. Obviously, some controversy with some officiating, as well as some issues with the main star there, Jason Tatum. But we'll get into all of that. So, Kenny, first off, how do you feel the series is faring for the Boston Celtics? And what's your expectation for tonight? So, obviously, Game 4 tonight at 7:30. So,
Yeah, my expectation is they need to show up. They need to show up. Number one defense. The number one defense. We got the defensive player of the year, the number one defense. And the only time they showed up was Game 2 at home. If you're going to win the NBA championship, you need to win on the road too, not just at home.
And we know usually a series doesn't start until, an away team wins on the road.
Yes.
Because that's kind of basically what people say. So let's go over Game 3 a little bit. Real quick, we put up a Sports Unfolded poll on who most fans blamed for the loss, giving several different opportunities or options. But the one that stood out the most, Jason Tatum received 28 votes. The referees 16. Shooting percentage was 36.8, which received 8 votes. Yep. So those seem to be the big three, if we wanted to go with a big three. If you were going to say what caused the Celtics to lose Game 3, what would your overall opinion be?
Oh, it's their defense. Turnovers. They would turn the ball over, fast break. Turn the ball over, fast break. And when we got the steal, we couldn't execute the fast break. We just cannot execute the fast break.
So we had discussed previously the importance of Jason Tatum and him taking that next step in the next level. And here's where I'm starting to question where he's at as a superstar. So a lot of people want to anoint him as a top 5 in the NBA. Even when the Bucks were struggling and Giannis might not have played a solid game, you were still getting almost 30 plus from Giannis.
Yep.
He was still dominating at points of the game. You can't have your star player score 10 points, shoot 4 for 19, and expect to win. And we're looking at a Jason Tatum right now that seems to be overmatched by a Milwaukee Bucks team that you cannot tell me Wesley Matthews, who I would not consider a top 10 defensive player in the NBA, can shut down your best player. It's concerning. I don't know how you honestly get past this because the NBA is Giannis's league right now. I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and you remember, we're old enough to remember the Jordan rules. And right,
Thank you.
A foul on one person,
Yep,
might not be a foul for Michael Jordan, or vice versa.
Yep.
And now you're seeing it with Giannis. Giannis has the ability to basically, in my opinion, offensive foul frequently. He drops his shoulder. He puts his body into you. He pushes you away. They're offensive fouls.
Yep. Yeah.
95% of the league, that's an offensive foul.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be on Giannis. How do you stop that? How does Boston control that aspect of the game?
Like Shaq says, you touch him up. He go down there, you get in front of him. You make sure you let him know, hey, don't come in here. Hey, don't elbow me. Hey, don't try to run over me.
And some of the concern would have to be Robert Williams, no? Because that would probably be the guy you'd want to give him some problems. If you're talking about physicality, the ability to block shots, and create, obviously for a big man, and you're not seeing that from Robert Williams as well. He's been quiet this series. The guy that stepped up right now is Al Horford.
I'm so proud of Al Horford.
Right, but it's insane because if that's your best guy going right now, they don't win this series.
Hey, guess who's missing? Third game, Brown scored 27. Al Horford scored 22, 4 3-pointers. White came off the bench, 14 points. Who's missing? Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum. He shot 8 threes and missed them all. 8 threes.
Right now, Jason Tatum, in this series, Jason Tatum's averaging 20 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 5.7 assists.
Yeah.
That ain't going to get it done.
No.
What we saw with Brooklyn was more about Brooklyn not really caring about being there than it was Jason Tatum taking the next step. And I think we all looked at it with a glass half full and said, oh, yeah, look at him. He's taking the next step. Look what he did against Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're seeing a team that wants to win, that wants to get to the championship.
Yep.
And you're seeing Jason Tatum again go back into that shell and not perform the way he needs to perform. You need your star player, especially on the road.
Oh,
you can sit there all day and say, look, he can score 35, 40 points at home.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to get us 10 points on the road, that's not going to cut it.
No.
And, currently he's shooting 35% in this series, 36 from 3. His free throw percentage, Kenny, 68.8%. He was an 80, I think 85 on the season, 88%.
Yeah.
Free throw shooter. So even when he's getting to the line, he's not contributing.
No.
They can't afford to win that way.
No.
Because if you look at the overall numbers, I mean, they're only getting out-rebounded in the series by 3 on average, 48 to 45. They're scoring more points. They're out-assisting the Milwaukee Bucks in this series. What seems to be to me, Jason Tatum has to be a superstar, and we said that. That's the only way Boston gets to the finals.
Only way. He has to stop thinking and just do it. And know that he can't always drive. He has to get his shot on. He has to make sure his shot is on because he can't drive. Every time he drives, they shut him down. He don't get the calls. And then it's fast break.
So, a couple of guys, you mentioned Derek White. He's shooting 27.8% from the field in this series. He's actually shooting 40% from 3, so he shouldn't take any other shot but a 3-pointer at this point. Peyton Pritchard, who had a very good series the last series, and not that I expected him to be the key difference, but 28.6% from 3-point range right now.
Double P, baby, double P.
Yeah,
favorite.
To me, you've got to get more out of these role players.
Yes.
You got to see some kind of fight. Marcus Smart only averaging 9.5 points, 1.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart, 4 assists. We're back to the old Marcus Smart, shooting 20% from 3-pointers. 20%, Kenny. What do you get when Grant Williams is your best 3-point shooter? There's a problem.
Yeah, there is a problem.
There's a problem. Yep. And can I say, let me know, because you follow basketball a lot more than I do. You love the game. That's why we do these shows, because you are an NBA, connoisseur, guru, whatever we want. We call you everything in the book. All right.
Yeah.
How is it that the NBA now is just a 3-point league? I've seen on so many occasions where a guy drives to the rim, could get a layup, and somehow kicks to an open 3-point, because that's a better shot in the NBA today than it is. And I think that's some of Boston's problem. I said it on Friday's show with Ron that you're not going to get Boston to shoot 40+% every game from 3-point range. No. That's why they won game 2.
Yep.
They came out, scored a ton of points early, hitting 3-pointers, and Milwaukee slowly crept back in the second half because they weren't hitting those 3-point shots.
Yep.
They didn't hit their 3-point shots in game 3. They lost the game. We can sit there and blame as many different factors of the game as possible. But one of the top keys is you can't shoot that bad. I think it was 28% from 3-point as a team.
Yep.
In game 3, if you're going to take that many shots, you're going to lose. So can Boston turn it around? Can Boston win game 4?
Yeah, they can win game 4. Just got to come out and bust them in the mouth.
I feel like I'm talking to Ron with the Bruins right now. Homer is in the house.
They have to.
This series is over, my friend. This series is over.
They have to have high energy.
Series is over.
And you know, I talk mad junk about Udoka, but Udoka's doing a great job. He has to settle everybody down and say, look, we got to play defense and we got to look for the easy shots and clog me. Because they just let Giannis just walk down there, layup, post up, use that arm and break that. You gotta close that lane down.
When game 1, when Giannis threw the alley-oop to himself,
yeah,
I just said, look, he's going to make them understand that he's the most dominant player in the league.
Yeah, he is.
And from that point forward, honestly, even in game 2, in the third quarter, he came out and he made sure that he was still going to show you that if he wants to dominate at any given point, he can.
Yeah.
The only thing with them is, look, are there other guys going to contribute? Right now, Drew Holiday, 23 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Mm-hmm.
He's averaging 5 more rebounds than Marcus Smart.
Yep.
There's something wrong with that.
Marcus Smart got to get him.
Pat Connaughton, 42.9% from 3-point range. There's a problem. These are guys that I wouldn't expect to.
Yeah, me neither.
And then the same thing with Jaylen Brown. Look, I like Jaylen Brown. I think he's a solid player. We've talked in the past about possibly trading him as our options. And I honestly, I like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
But I don't feel comfortable Jaylen Brown taking over a game. No. And I don't feel comfortable with Jaylen Brown, as athletic as he thinks he is. When he drives to the lane, I see more blocks than I do see him making spectacular plays.
Or turnovers.
Right. So I just don't think they're playing smart right now. I don't think they're playing smart in this series. I think they've allowed Milwaukee to get into their head. The one thing that travels well in any sport is defense. So I think Boston was in game 3 because of that factor. And then all those little pieces ended up hurting them because offensively they just can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the officiating was trash.
Terrible.
I know how you feel about that. I mean, I'll let you go on a little rant if you want about the officiating, because I know how fired up you were about it during the game. So if you could see one of those officials right now in the street, Kenny, what would be some of the messages that you may want to relay to them? That remember, we're a family-friendly show. By the way.
Exactly. So I'm not going to say what I really want to say. But you got to call the game right. You know what I'm saying? You got to call the game right down the middle. You know what I'm saying? You can't let this guy just play football. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a linebacker. It's basketball.
So let me ask you this, though, because there's been some people that have talked about it. And I believe in the second half, it was 17-0 for free throws taken. Boston 17. Milwaukee didn't shoot a single free throw in the second half of that game.
Yeah.
So the officials kind of were calling it more one-sided. I think Milwaukee was in trouble. They had a bunch of guys in foul trouble late in that game. So how much of it was really the officials?
Half of the officials. But when you can't make free throws, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Giannis was missing some. Jason Tatum was missing a lot. He only had 4 free throws, and he went to the line 9-10 times. So free throws win games.
I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, the Homer in you says they can win this series. I just think it's over. I think it was a golden opportunity for them to go up 2-1 Boston.
Yeah.
Steal one again on the road like Milwaukee did to you in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you go back to Boston 2-2. I feel a lot better. I don't feel comfortable about today's game. I don't feel confident enough to say that they're going to be able to put it all together especially when you got Jason Tatum, who's shooting 35%.
Yeah. The key is going to be he has to show up, and Marcus Smart has to show up.
But how many times can we say that about Jason Tatum before we start to really question how great of a player he is?
He's great, but he just
look, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm really not.
He just wants to.
I'm just frustrated.
Me too. He just wants to overdo it, and that's not. He shouldn't try to overdo it. You know what I'm saying? If he gets a shot, good shot. Then pass it out. Don't drive to the lane and try to get easy shots unless you're going to dunk it or try to dunk it.
So if I looked at the game, the last game, and I said, look, guys are going to have an off shooting night. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he gets, 10 rebounds, 8, 9 assists. I could have lived with that, but he had 4 assists in the game. Yeah. So he wasn't even getting other guys involved. So he's missing shots and not getting other guys involved.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out at what point do we just say, look, he's a very good player, but he's never going to be a superstar. Because to me, this was the series. Everybody wants to talk about the Brooklyn series. And to me, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, they really weren't in it. They weren't in it to win it. They weren't.
The Brooklyn series was way, way different than this series. Him and Brown got to the basket, got the easy points. You know what I'm saying? Got the easy layups. Ran on a fast break. This series right here, oh, you can't get to the basket between Portis, between Giannis,
Lopez. They got the
even,
size. They have size over Boston.
Exactly. You can't get to the basket, so you got to make shots. You got to make shots.
So at what point do I convince you that Boston doesn't win this series? How much more?
They'll win.
Yeah.
It's going.
They're going to win this series.
They're going to win tonight.
They're going to win in 7?
Yeah, it's going 7.
So they got to take one in Milwaukee, no?
Yeah, they'll take this one in Milwaukee tonight.
They take this one tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Be the key to tonight's game.
Marcus and Jason Tatum.
Okay. All right. Marcus with his bum knee. Jason Tatum can't hit the side of a barn. Okay.
Little hammy.
I like the hammy for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
How old's Al Horford? 37?
Yeah, he's slanging them, boy.
That's going to be that's our relief right now is Al Horford. Grant Williams, our 3-point specialist. Robert Williams, 8.7 points and 5.7 rebounds is our energy guy.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Yeah. We're in trouble because Grant Williams smiled too much. Need to get angry.
But that's one of the problems we've said about the 2 J's. Is that they don't have that listen, you'd smack Michael Jordan.
Whew.
He's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You smack Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming back at you.
Oh yeah.
Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about his side, but listen, you were going to show him up. He's showing you up twice as bad coming back down.
Yeah, you're right.
And these guys just don't have that factor. They just don't seem to have that anger in them to want to just beat somebody.
Exactly.
And I just question that part of their game. And that's why I think you start to see them struggle because a guy like Giannis is all heart.
All heart.
Listen, he's not the greatest 3-point shooter. He's not the greatest mid-range shooter, but he'll keep taking those shots. And then when he knows, look, you're just going to sit back, he's going to pound you in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make sure that he shows his will and his power against you because he wants you to understand that he's that guy.
Yeah. No,
I don't see that from Tatum. I don't see Tatum when he drives to the hole, even when he gets a dunk. Like, just see some fire, some like scream, give one of those, flex jobs and make people know, like, I'm here. This is me.
Yeah.
It's more like I dunk the ball, I run down the court. Okay. I made a nice play. Jaylen Brown, if he gets lucky enough, to your point, to get the dunk without turning it over or getting blocked,
Yeah.
You know, it's like a layup for them. And then they just run down. It wasn't like a great play. They don't. And I'd love to see those guys just get angry.
Yep.
Bro, I think the backboard was still shaking for 5 minutes after Giannis basically had his own alley oop in game one. Like that board shook for 5 minutes because he was so aggressive with it. He was like, I own you.
Yeah.
And yet nothing from Boston on that.
No.
I just don't know. I listen, I love your commitment to your team. And I don't know if it's more, but you just wanting to believe in, unicorns and leprechauns and
fairy
I
dust.
mean, lucky might, maybe you got a little lucky leprechaun running around the crib right now, and you're like, you know what, Lucky's there. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think a lot of Celtic fans right now are wearing rose-colored glasses, and sometimes matchups matter more than anything else in the NBA in a series. And I just feel like you don't beat their size. You can't you can yes, you can have the best defensive team in the league, but if they can shut you down in so many different areas, and they're going to give them 3-point shots, they're going to let Marcus Smart shoot.
Oh yeah,
that's Milwaukee's game. They want you to shoot 3-pointers, and you see them take less 3-pointers, and what do? Pound the paint, get it inside.
Yeah,
they're getting twos while you're missing threes. Eventually, they make more twos than you do threes.
That's how fast breaks get you.
It's working.
Yeah,
it's working. But do me a favor, pat Lucky on the head over there, and just tell him like, all right, Eric's wrong, and when they win tonight, I'll gladly apologize to Lucky. All right, I'll give you that.
I'll make sure I do that.
7:30 tonight. I mean, we'll be drawing back and forth tonight. That's the expectation. I know we will.
Oh yeah.
But let's move on to some of the other NBA series, and let's just have a quick conversation on some of those. So right now, the Golden State Warriors are actually up 2-1 in the against the Grizzlies. We're starting to see the old Golden State Warriors to shoot. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and I think what was it last game? 70% from the field in the first half.
Yeah,
70%, Kenny.
70%.
Have you seen that before?
I've never seen that. Never.
Klay Thompson couldn't miss. It didn't matter what he was throwing up; it was going in.
You see his one foot 3-pointer.
Yeah, like it didn't matter. Injury possibly to Ja Morant. That could be concerning.
Not going to play tonight. Really concerning.
Oh, yeah. So I had the Grizzlies going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Based on my NBA guru, we won't discuss who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah. So the Golden State Warriors. So one of our buddies, Mickey, who you know very well, he said he gives you a lot of credit because he said you stuck it out with the Warriors. You believed all year. We wanted them off the top 5 list in the rankings, and you said, I'm not doing it. They're still one of the best teams in the league.
Yep.
And now they're starting to do it in the playoffs. Yep. And you don't have Ja Morant. That seriously hinders what the Memphis Grizzlies want to do. Do we not believe that they're so overmatched without him in this series?
Did you forget without Ja Morant, they went 20-5?
But again, you're talking about a Golden State's Warrior team.
Yes,
right true. Now is playing some of their best basketball.
That is true. They are
There's the difference.
The radar. I mean, even their bench is outstanding. Jordan Poole, outstanding. The key to this is Draymond Green. Draymond Green. Don't have him do too much. Just have him rebound, maybe assist. Last game, he had 8 and 8. And they beat him by what, 40-something points?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 101 to 145 or something like that? That's the key. If he starts going, if he starts going ballistic and all that and this and that, they'll lose. But just have him calm down, a little 8 and 8. Hey, just have him do little stuff.
He's today's Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
When you could keep Dennis Rodman under control, The guy's a double digit. He's going to contribute.
Yep.
Not the same game. So I'm not talking about like a defensive rebounding, even though Draymond's very good defensively. But when he's mentally in the game and he's staying focused, they're such a better team.
Oh yeah.
And when he lets the crowd affect his play, when he allows the officials to dictate his play, that's when you start to see Draymond struggle.
Yes.
Or he makes those little errors or gets himself thrown out of a game because he decides that. What about the physicality in this series, though? So we've seen a lot of plays where like Draymond had game one, got thrown out of the game. Now we had the suspension in game 3 for Memphis.
Yep.
And I'm drawing a blank on his name now for Memphis.
Yeah, me too.
And I want to say Bain, and it wasn't Bain. It was the other kid. But so again, questions there. Gary Payton II, fractured elbow, might not be back for the rest of the playoffs because of that play.
Yep.
Then you saw Draymond get the eye cut there, the contusion, taking an elbow. Like, you've seen a lot of physicality. There was even questions with the Ja Morant injury and Poole possibly being one of the reasons as to him being hurt. Do you think the Grizzlies went into this mentally in the wrong light of, if we're just more physical, we could just wear them down?
Yeah. They went into it. They thought they were going to run against the Golden State Warriors. You can't run against the Golden State Warriors because they're going to run back. You think they're old, but they got shooters that'll leak out. Curry will throw that ball. Clay, his release is too quick. Yeah, really too quick.
And again, now you get the spread. I call it Splash Brothers Inc. now, because you get Tyronn Poole, who is just been a difference maker for them because he's young. He's got the young legs. So guess what? When those other two are a little tired or they need a spell, this guy can throw in 25, 30 points.
Yeah.
So as much as I was on the Warriors bandwagon, the Grizzlies bandwagon, I think some of the wheels came off, and I'm a little concerned, especially if no Ja tonight.
Yeah.
They go down 3-1. This series is over.
Series is over. Over.
You mentioned it, 20-5 without him during the regular season. Do they win tonight?
No.
If
Ja Morant's not playing, no, they don't win.
What happened to the 20-5 stat that you threw out there?
Golden State.
Kenny, listen. I don't know how many people from San Francisco, how many Golden State Warriors watch this show. I'm sure they all do, in our perfect world. But if there's any justice and they win it all, they should fly you out so you could hold the trophy up during the ceremony, because you're the only one that's believed during this whole time that the Golden State Warriors is still one of the best teams in the NBA.
They are.
You deserve some credit for that.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get you there, man. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be at the parade. You're gonna be holding up this trophy, and you're gonna Kevin Garnett it. We did it.
We did it. Anything's possible.
Oh, right. There you go. So, does this series go more than 5 games?
No.
So you think Golden State takes the next 2? We call it a series.
We call it a series.
Great run by the Grizzlies, but we think it's over, right?
Yeah, they get a ton of rest.
Especially if Golden State's going to shoot that well.
Exactly. If they win tonight, then the next game, they get a ton of rest. Somebody better watch out.
So the East series between the 76ers and the Heat has been extremely interesting. So when we talk about a tale of two tapes, you sit there and the first 2 games you said the Sixers are done, they're dead in the water. Everybody put the ribbon on it. Here it is. It's over. The game's over. Joel Embiid comes back. And still, maybe 80, 90% of what he is, the difference maker. James Harden, game 4. Hit more threes. I think since he's been with the Sixers, they said he hit more threes in this game than he had in any of the previous games so far with the Sixers.
Yep.
We've talked about it for so long, almost 6 months now, about the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the true number 1 team?
Yeah.
Kenny, I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Uh-huh.
Are they still the best team in the East based on what we're seeing in these playoffs?
No, I'm not.
Can the 76ers beat them?
Yeah. It hurts me to say, because really the 76ers were not supposed to get past Toronto. They weren't supposed to get past Toronto, but Toronto just, the bottom fell out. The bottom fell out. I don't know what happened, but
Ron wanted to chime in. Ron, my co-host from Sports Unfolded, just for the record, I picked the Golden State to make the finals. So he wanted to make sure he pointed that out to us.
All right,
Ron, thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Yes, yeah, we know. But he's just trying to get a free trip to San Francisco as well. Don't let him fool you. This has nothing to do. He's like, I'm not letting Kenny go, and I'm not going with him. And I'll be watching you guys. We'll do some podcasts where you guys are on the stage, and I'll just be home going, I should have agreed with Kenny and Ron the whole time. Maybe I'll do it from Memphis.
Hey, they got good food.
Right? They got the barbecue there, right? Is insane.
Yes, insane, yes.
So how big, let me ask you this question instead. Can James Harden continue to do what he's doing in this series? Or do we feel like it was just a flash in the pan? So game 4, it was the old James Harden hitting threes. Does he still not look slow, old? Is that not the same James Harden?
Yeah, he still looks old. He still misses big shots, but if you ISO him, if he gets that ISO, he can step back and hit that 3. See, they're double.
Where's it been? But where's it been? It was like the great disappearing act.
Yeah.
Houdini can disappear better than James Harden has.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now it's like, hey, that's James Harden.
Yeah.
James, he's hitting threes.
Yeah.
He's taking the step back. He's doing all those things. Ron, me and Kenny ride it till they die on our trip to San Francisco. So he's all in on this trip.
Yeah, right.
Kenny, if you're smart though, you have Ron pay for the tickets if Golden State won't.
Yeah, right.
You know, he's got a lot to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, unfortunately, every Friday I beat him on everything we talk about. So I don't know. But that's a whole other story for a whole another day. What do the Heat got to do to get back into the series? Do you feel like they've lost the series now with this? Or again, they go back home. This is a whole different ball game when it comes to the home teams. Philly took care of their home court. Miami took care of their home court. Mm-hmm. If you do the math, technically Miami wins the series 4-3.
What does Miami have to do? Shoot better than 25% from 3.
But Kenny, who is the best 3-point shooting team in the league in the regular season?
Miami
Heat. Who is the best defending 3-pointers defense against the threes in the regular season?
Philly.
Yeah, I thought it was Miami. Philly was?
No, you're right. Miami. I'm sorry.
Miami. So again, if you look at it from a standpoint of where we're looking, you probably shoot better at home.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to make a bigger impact at home. So Miami still wins this series, no?
I don't think so. If Embiid can be dominant, if he can go down
you
there,
wish. Ron said, okay.
If Embiid can be dominant like he usually is.
I don't know. I still think Miami's the better team.
Mm-hmm.
I think James Harden is just way too inconsistent for me. I like Maxey. I like the way he's played and he's stepped up. But there was even a point where Maxey didn't want to sit next to James Harden on the bench when there's something going on there that is more internal.
Oh yeah.
Than I think anything else. I just think, look, you don't get traded that many times to that many teams unless there's a problem with you. And I think that's what you're starting to see with James Harden.
Yeah.
And I think Miami as insane as we thought they were when they were trying to fight each other on the bench a few months ago. Look, Jimmy Butler is quietly been one of the better players in the NBA for years now, and I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's been able to do with the teams he's been on.
Yeah.
And Ron believes Miami will finish. So that's 2-1 versus you.
Mm-hmm. You'll see, Ron.
Let's talk about. Yeah, you see how quick he sold you out. There goes those tickets, right? Kenny, you tell him he's out. He's not coming in. Oh, here's a bold prediction. Next year, Harden will be shipped to the Lakers to join all the West. Wow. You see, LeBron working out though. I saw something the other day. LeBron working out, getting back in shape. Kevin Durant's in Greece at nightclubs, having a good time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this last series here, and that's the Mavericks versus the Suns. And here's another series where we just thought Dallas was going to be outmatched. Phoenix looked like they couldn't be stopped, and then again, they go home. Dallas take care of business. Luka's played well. Everybody's contributing. Brunson, who me and Ron both called out, said that he had to step up, has played better at home.
Yep.
Chris Paul, concerning me.
Yes, me too.
So again, played at home, played well, but then we started to see what happens with Chris Paul in the playoffs. I think he had more turnovers than points or assists. It was one of those stats in the last game, right? And you go, what's going on with Chris Paul?
Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's.
That's Chris. If that's Chris Paul, tell him I was just kidding.
Maybe he was. I don't know. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he's.
But how concerning is it that we've seen this in the playoffs with Chris Paul in the past, and then now you see it again?
Yeah.
When Squats and Followers calls players and teams out, they respond. This is Ron, as usual, taking credit for everybody that he called out. He called out the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they went on a run. So now he's the guy when you want your teams. Does Phoenix lose this series, Kenny?
No. Phoenix doesn't lose this series. Phoenix does not lose this series.
So what caused them to lose 2 in Dallas?
Luka did an excellent job. He got to the basket. He got a shot on. And I'm telling you right now, it's that supermodel thing. I'm telling you, it's a supermodel thing.
Is he dating a supermodel?
His mom's a supermodel?
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Luka's mom?
Yes. Luka's mom.
Come on.
Was a supermodel.
Wow. Oh, was a. I thought she still is. I was like, what did we watching it?
Well, she still is me. She's a daggone good for her age.
So Luka, so dating a supermodel is the key. Oh, is that why Tom Brady's so successful?
Thank you. Either you date one, you have one in the family, your mom's one.
So Phoenix wins this series. Golden State wins their series is basically where we're heading. Who comes out? Well, first of all, you already said Boston's winning the championship.
Yep.
On the NBA playoff preview show that we did early in the season. So I'm not. That's why I'm discouraging that.
Boston gets Golden State.
So Golden State beats the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And then loses to Boston. And so are you listening to yourself right now?
Yeah, I am.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
So Boston wins it all. beating the Golden State Warriors, who you basically say can't be stopped.
Right.
Hey, listen. If history's taught us anything, the Titanic wasn't supposed to sink either. So you could be right. You could be right. Right? The Golden State Warriors can't be beat. Boston Celtics could beat them.
Right.
Anything you're looking forward to? So let's just really quick go back to the Bucks series because we're going to end on the Celtics Bucks.
Okay.
Your keys tonight. How much does Boston win by? And who's going to be the stars that step up for Boston?
It's going to be Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and they win by 15.
15.
Yeah.
So far, 3-game series, 3-point difference.
Yep. 15 or more. 15
Wow.
or more. 15 or more they'll win by.
So you got a blowout in
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee.
Yeah. They have to. They
Okay.
have to come in, bust in the mouth, and make a statement.
All right. So I'm going to tell you right now what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. You want me to take some notes here.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if you know him. He's a pretty good player.
Okay. Greek freak. Okay.
He is going to dominate tonight because he knows the importance of going up 3-1. And if we're talking about heart between what Boston has and what Milwaukee has, I'm riding my money on the Milwaukee Bucks in the fact that they know how to win when it counts. They've won it last year. Giannis wants to go back-to-back. He knows how important for his legacy it would mean. And if there's a person right now in the NBA that could physically dominate anybody, it's him. He's going to impose his will tonight. And I think, again, you're going to start to see Jason Tatum still play like a shell of himself because I think he understands the spotlight's on him now. I think all the noise from the outside has come in and basically told him that he was a top 5 player in the NBA. And now he's realizing that people are expecting him to perform that way, and he can't do it. And he can't do it. And I hope I'm wrong. And listen, JT wants to come over here and talk to me about it. We can gladly have a conversation.
Sure can.
I just don't see. I've seen this too many times from Boston. And every year we sit back and we go, okay, they're a little older. We won't fall into the same trap. And the two Jays do the same thing every playoff series to me. As soon as I start to believe, I said, this is it. You got me into the Funko Pops. So you know what I got in the mail today?
What'd you get in the mail?
A Jason Tatum one.
Ooh.
But I'm going to tell you what happened. The packaging was damaged.
Oh.
It's all smushed together, right? So I'm all disappointed. But then I said, that's a sign of what Giannis is going to do basically to the Boston.
Oh, shit.
The omen, my friend. It's out there. It's out there. I get this thing. I'm all excited. As soon as I listen, I ripped open the package. I go to pull it out, and it's all squished. It's all squished. It was almost flattened. I mean, the figure itself was okay. The packaging's just shattered. And I'm telling you right now, see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's out there in the aura that no matter what you do to Boston Celtics, they somehow seem to collapse under the pressure. Am I looking too much into it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Way too much.
I don't know. I don't know, my friend. I'm a little nervous. But some great basketball talk. We'll obviously try to get together next week because I definitely want to do. I think we'll be in the conference finals at that point. There really should be some teams in there.
Yep.
Go Celtics tonight. Even though I'm bashing them, I seem to always pick against them so that they win.
Yes.
That's what I do. So you're welcome. You're welcome.
Do
you know what? And so to finish that story off, you know what I did though, Kenny?
What'd you do?
We started putting the package back together.
And
we made it whole again. So maybe tonight's game, maybe that's the way I should
approach it. That's the ticket. Yes.
Put it back together.
Packed together. Yes.
Back together. Okay. So go Seas tonight, 7:30 TNT. I believe the game is on.
Yep.
I always love TNT as well. I think they do a great job with basketball. So I'm excited to watch that. And then tonight as well, the Memphis and Golden State Warriors game will be on later tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that with no John Morant and see how that turns out. But as always, I appreciate your your basketball insight.
Mm-hmm.
Although Kenny knows some hockey, man. We've been talking a lot of hockey on Sports Unfolded, and you got
Let's go Bruins, baby. Let's go Bruins.
right. That's it.
Let's
I
go
mean,
Bruins. Woo!
imagine a hockey player in basketball. Did you see Bergeron's eye after the game? If that's an NBA player, they're out for 6 weeks. 6 weeks with that. He was on the ice bleeding. He wanted to come back. He wanted to stay on.
Concussion
protocol, so let's keep the B's going. Let's see the C's tonight. And Kenny, I will see you next week for Sports Unfolded NBA Ranking Show Playoff Edition. You have a great night. Everybody out there, peace. We got a little bit of everything going on here, buddy. Got a little delay, so we're going to just